Hi and welcome back to Your Relationship Roadmap. I'm Keith Flynn. I'm here with Mr. Michael Worthington just to wrap up the series on the my top 5 challenges working with, well, not top 5 challenges, but the top 5 issues I deal with clients.
And they are challenges though, really. I mean, we've talked about anger. We've talked about that can lead to abuse, and then it talks to arguments, and you've had affairs and addictions. And I know you've just covered 5, and I know there's many more, but you're saying these are really commonalities, the top 5 that come common. When you're looking at is there a common trait that causes these things to happen? And someone watching now is going, why would any of these happen in a healthy relationship?
Yeah, you know what the common trait is?
What?
People.
People. People are just people.
People being people.
Right.
People not dealing with their baggage.
Okay.
If you like.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, we were all once babies.
Yep.
We were like clean slates. And we've just been programmed. And so these are just programs that are just playing out, often at the unconscious level.
Is this why, and you've got your relationship roadmap, I mean, you talk to people, but as well as people being in crisis in their relationship, I know you help parents as well because of the impact it can be having on their children. And parents can come to you and say, well, look, I don't think our relationship is on the rocks, but perhaps we're not good, we're not the best role model for children.
Yeah, that's true. But going back to your original point, though, like when I'm dealing with couples,
yeah,
one of my mentors said he only ever works with 3-year-olds.
Okay.
Because it's the 3-year-old inside of us that causes the problem.
Right.
So when if you like, a child versus an adult, if we think of what an ideal adult is ideally an adult is someone who's responsible, accountable, taking ownership for what they're doing. If we take this like perfect world, well, a lot of so-called people of adult age are behaving like children at times.
Throwing tantrums, not taking responsibility.
Yeah.
Blaming other people.
Yeah. So when I look at people, I'm looking for the patterns and to help them become aware of what they're doing. Sometimes I'm not really big on going back and digging into stuff, but I am looking for some of the key patterns that are going on, because a lot of them come in from childhood. Because one of the things that I'll say, because another thing that people have big challenges with is dealing with the past. So I'll just simply say the past is only good for 2 things: to learn from and be grateful for. So rather than keep bringing up the past, what did you need to learn from what happened to you? What are you grateful for why that happened?
Yeah.
So for example, one of the main reasons I'm doing this work is when my marriage ended, it was the most painful time in my life. I learned about love. I learned about depression. So I made some decisions around that I wouldn't let anyone else go through it if I could help.
Yeah.
And it took a bit more of my journey to get to the point where it was like, I need to completely understand relationships. I need to be able to simplify it so everybody can understand it. So it's very simple, it's very logical. And the analogy I use is if you go to the gym and hire a personal trainer and they put a program together because you want to get fit, but if you then go to the gym, look at your program, but just sit and watch everyone else doing it, you're never going to get fit.
You're never going to get fit.
So the thing that I can do is put together the program, and I'll tell clients, look, make this a 12-month exercise.
Yes.
If we live to 100, it's only 1 year out of your life to invest. And I'm not talking 8 hours a day. I'm just talking about putting your time and attention on developing yourself and building your relationship. So consciously working on yourself, working on the relationship, working on building that relationship with your partner.
You know, at the beginning of that, you were saying about your journey and you didn't want anyone else to go through that. And I suppose a few people going, you've got some pretty, I mean, if you watch these other videos, you're going to be going, there's some pretty insightful stuff in there and some pretty poignant, no messing around, straight to the point, which is kind of your style. Some people are going, when you made that choice, how did you learn this? How did you, I know you wanted to, and people say if you want to, you can do anything, but how did you do it? And where did you get this knowledge from? Because you've been very successful with a lot of people.
Part of it is trial and error.
Right.
Meaning I tried and there was a lot of error.
I told you it was honest.
So part of it was reflecting back, looking at my relationships, and also, so it's trial and error. It's my personal experience, reflecting back on my relationship, and then working with so many couples and starting to see the patterns. Another side is simply being in tune, like being open to learning.
Right. Okay.
And it's amazing when we're open to learning what will come to us.
I must say, when I speak to you, and when we speak off camera, so we have conversations off camera about many things, one thing I find is you do have a very intuitive nature about you. I mean, I say things to you and you'll go, actually, and you seem to pick up on points that other people would perhaps not pick up on. Is that just something you've always had, or is it?
No.
Because knowing couples come and see you, you kind of almost they go, he knows me. And I've heard people go, he knows me. How he actually knows what I'm trying to get across here.
If we keep it really, really simple, in relationships, people want to be heard and understood. So one of the ways to hear and understand somebody is put yourself in their position. Put yourself in their shoes, if you like.
Yeah.
Imagine what their life would be like. Too many relationships, you've got two people who are in their own bunkers, throwing grenades at each other.
Yeah.
And they're defending themselves, they're protecting themselves, and they're not hearing the pain or what that other person's in. Someone talks about pain, and then they come back and justify that's not what they meant, but they're not hearing the other person in the pain. They're not slowing it down to really listen to them. And again, that relates right back to that first series where we talk about respect and trust, the two videos on respect and trust.
Yeah. But if you haven't watched them, watch them. They're actually terrific. Yes.
So, like, if you like, the program that I do live and I've got online looks at relationships from a 360 viewpoint. So you see relationships from multiple angles. It's still a relationship, but it gives you the opportunity to see it different ways, because one of those different ways is going to click.
And that is one thing, and we have talked about your online program before. One thing I like about your online program, and I get this, is that I think you've said there's over 40 different strategies. And someone would say, well, why so many? But I think, as you always say, because some resonate with some people and some don't. Yeah. So you've actually got quite a wide choice to go, you know what, I think that suits my personality. That one will work for me. And I kind of like that.
Yeah. So the online program's designed to give people the resources that they can always have. They can always go back and watch the different modules, because everything there you can go deeper and deeper in. And
it's like as you learn, next time you watch it, you go, I didn't see that the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only that, but when people start to get it, things start to link up.
Right.
Because the same, like I say, it's 360, you're getting things in different areas. And you're getting the linkage between the different things. So it's like building up a mosaic or a jigsaw. The other thing is that with the online course, you've actually got a 52 weeks. You get an email every week to help keep you on point. So that's why it's treated as a 12-month program.
Yeah.
Because it takes time to develop the new habits. It takes time to take the seeds that are planted from the course and actually nurture them, so you then are able to choose to do a different behavior than what you've been currently doing.
And I think that is a really important point because, as you've always said, it's not an instant fix, but you can learn, you can get choice, you make your choices. But as you say, you're then creating the new habits, and habits do take a bit of time to instill into yourself.
Yeah. And again, that's from personal experience. Because when my marriage was breaking down, we actually separated 3 times over 2 years.
Wow.
The longest break we had was 9 months.
Right.
The biggest mistake that I made was not seriously doing the work over that 9 months to change my habits, to actually find somebody to work with, so that I was a different person at the end of the 9 months than I was at the beginning.
One thing I will say, and this is one thing I really do like about your particular style, and that is, you know, people when they come to you want to fix, and they don't want this 1 hour, 1.5 hour, is traditional stuff, and spread that over the next 6 months. They're kind of going, well, you know, that if I come to you 1 hour a week, that's going to be 5 weeks before I've even got anywhere. Well, with you have, and I think you use the word, you compress it. You do these big 4.5, 5.5 hour sessions with people, so that the movement happens, really starts to change things happen on the very first session, or the willingness and the openness to change.
Yeah. The sessions, I normally say to people 5 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
I actually put a 5 to 6 hour block in. The longest session I've done is 10.5 hours.
I will make this point. You say 5 or 6, but because of your personality and who you are, you actually don't measure the hour. You go for this
Whatever
is
it
the end.
takes.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, someone once said, if you put popcorn in a microwave, and let's say it takes 2 minutes to pop, if you put it in and you turn it on for 1 minute and take it out, put it in for a minute, take it out, you're never going to pop the popcorn, because it needs 2 minutes. Continuous.
Okay.
For traditional counselling, and this is just my opinion, for traditional counselling or coaching, if you're just doing one-on-one, you can do that. You can go along to someone, spend an hour or two, and you can do this weekly or regularly, and you're building a relationship over time with that person.
Yeah.
With couples, it's almost like a 4 or 5-fold complexity, because you've got 2 people dealing with their own emotions and everything.
Yeah.
So the original session I do with people live, it's really to get them to pop. Because unless you can get that real breakthrough in that session, you're going to have to go, it's just like doing the 1 minute in the microwave, not popping.
Not popping.
All right?
That's a very interesting analogy.
And what can happen with couples, if they don't get enough time and they don't get that breakthrough and they don't get that realization, then the next time they come back, you're just starting all over again. So again, the online course, while it's not with me personally, it is actually modeled on that 5 to 6 hour session. People will get more benefit if they set aside a day and just work through it, just like they pretend that I'm doing it with them live, because I'm delivering that exact same content.
Yes.
And if they apply the focus, then they'll get those. They'll start to see some of the realizations. They'll start to see some of the weaknesses in their relationship, and also seeing how each of them are contributing to the issues that are going on.
Yeah.
So part of the reason why I've done the online course is for people who are serious about their relationships, they can do the online course. And then if they come to myself or another relationship specialist who work with this material, we already know that they've got the foundations. We can speak to them in a different language.
Yes.
So then our first session is going to be a lot shorter, and we're able to target some of the issues that they're dealing with.
Yeah. You are, and I'm conscious of time, but you are very much an educator. You just don't tell people, well, do this, do that. You educate them on so many different levels, even just talking to you. So not only do I go, okay, well, that's a technique, I actually understand it. I can almost internalize it and go, I know, I comprehend why I'm doing this, which must be a huge benefit for people.
Yeah. Well, on my personal website, I say I'm I believe in educating, upskilling, and supporting people. So we've got to educate, give that framework.
Yeah.
I also say I'm a counsellor, coach, and consultant, meaning that the counselling side is listening to people being witness so that they can be heard. The coaching is like helping people get clear on what they want, and the consultant is giving them the strategies to implement.
Yes.
I view people like, if I use a medical analogy, if someone breaks a leg, the doctor doesn't heal the leg. They create an environment for the healing to occur.
Yeah.
So I'm about creating an environment for people's relationships to heal.
Yeah.
Because I believe that under everything is love. Love, we can just assume love. Babies come into this world, they don't go looking for love. Babies just love their parents.
Yeah.
Parents love their children. So love just exists. We don't need to look for it. But we get a whole lot of crap that covers things up that we need to deal with and start to get clear and just come back to some real basics.
People watching this series are going, you know what, I'm going to do this. And it doesn't matter if your relationship's not quite in crisis, you might just say, you know, I'm going to do this anyway because I think this would be absolutely fantastic. They've had a couple of problems, maybe they've got children, whatever. The online course, what is the best way of accessing that?
Well, you just go to the link below.
Yep.
There'll be a link to the website where you can actually basically just go and sign up and buy it and start using it immediately, and then you got it for lifetime.
And that is an important point. You do have it for a lifetime. And for someone who's a little bit desperate, or maybe, and this isn't putting people down, but I'm sure there's people who have self-doubt. I don't know if I could do this by myself, Keith. What's the best way of contacting you directly when they're in that kind of they want to change, but they, you know, some people just don't have the confidence to do it themselves or doubt whether they'll achieve the result?
They can contact me directly on my own website, which is keithflynn.com.au, or also in the link below on the website there, you'll also see a link to relationship specialists. So again, you can get to me through that.
Fantastic. I must ask, I guess it's one of the questions that people will have in their minds. The first session with yourself, the online course is absolutely brilliant. I'd encourage everyone to look at that. But a one-line session with yourself, what's it like for people when they very first come to you?
What do you mean by that?
What's their experience? You know, people go, oh, what's it going to be like when I come in? You know, what am I going to be asked? What's the expectations from me? You know, what is it like in a very first session with yourself?
Just have to come and see. Look, a lot of people when they come to me are in crisis.
Yes. Yeah.
And in some respects, I get a lot of people who've never ever been to counselling before. So they've got no idea. Or I've been to other people who've been to counselling, a psychologist or whatever, and sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't, because on my personal website I say you've got to find the right person to work with.
Yes.
So not everybody's going to like me. So I understand that.
Yeah.
So people will come, some of them have expectations, some have agendas.
Okay.
So I just deal with it like we're chatting. It's just getting to know each other. It's just, you know, I'm there to sort of facilitate and help them the best I can. I can't help people who won't be open to helping. You know, it's like they say a parachute only works when it's open. The mind will only work if it's open.
Yeah.
If there's love, a willingness to work and a willingness to change, then anything can happen. I can't do anything about someone who's not willing to change or willing to work. I can give them the road to travel,
Yep.
but they've got to take the journey themselves.
So take the journey, either engage in the online course, which is absolutely fantastic, or if you feel like you want personal help, engage in yourself, and we'll make sure the links are underneath this video.
Yeah, and just to call out, my vision is to impact 1 million relationships, or more than 1 million relationships globally. I know that the stuff that you get in the online course and what I do personally actually works. I've been able to duplicate it by working with another person. So I'm also looking for other people who want to do this work as well. But any help, referring this on to other people, I'm working on an affiliate program as well. So look, it's out there. My vision is to impact over a million relationships globally and to have relationship specialists in every major city around the world. So anything you can do to help that, love to hear from you. Would love your support.